Hey everybody, on my recording tonight, kind of a different topic. We're not going to talk about the current weather. Pattern is great for now, but we've come out of what we call a triple dip La Nina. Over the last 3 years, we've had La Nina conditions in the Pacific Ocean, and there is a good sign as we come out of that that we're going into an El Nino. And the question is, could we be going into what we would call a Super El Nino, a very strong, powerful El Nino? And it's starting to look likely that that's going to happen. So what I wanted to do is show you some of the El Nino forecasts of where we think this may go, and then I want to show you what happens locally when we have these strong El Ninos during the winter. Their impact on our weather tends to peak during the winter season. So the question is could a Super El Nino be developing? By the way, El Nino is basically warmer than normal sea surface temperatures near the coast of South America and extending westward along the equator. That's what it means. In the last 3 years, the sea surface temperatures have been cooler than normal, which is the opposite, La Nina. So if you look at the temperatures right now off the coast of South America, extending near the equator, you can see that it's starting to warm up. And I just pulled these off from yesterday, May 21st. So we're already seeing a change and it's warming. The question is, how much is it going to warm and what might it do to our weather? So this is a bigger picture just for you to see the entire ocean temperatures. But I mean, obviously upon first glance, it draws your attention of the warm waters that are already developing in the Pacific regions and the El Nino regions that we look at. So here's a forecast from NOAA. By the way, El Nino also is divided into regions. 1 and 2 are near South America, and 3 and 4 are in the central portion of the Pacific. So, and we generally look at 3 and 4 often. This is the Nino forecast for 3.4, 3 and 4, sea surface temperature anomalies. And you can see definitely a climb in that and warmer temperatures. And this forecast is to peak during the winter. Again, this is the Nino 3-4 region, which is the center portion of the Pacific. This is the forecast for 1-2, which is the area near South America, also forecast to be very high, way above normal in the temperatures. So Ninos 1, 2, 3, 4 all indicate above normal temperatures and potentially one of the stronger El Ninos that we have ever seen. So let's go back in time and look. Now we're looking at Nino 3-4 region now, which is in the middle part of the ocean. Some of the stronger El Ninos we've had, and we've kind of highlighted some of these for you. 57, 58, you can see there the temperature was up. 65, 66 was a little higher. 72, 73 was higher yet. And then the first real, what we call Super El Nino, was in 82, 83. And I'm going to factor that one in on my temperatures in a little bit. We had a couple smaller ones in 87, 88, 91, 92. But then the big one, the biggest El Nino, strongest that we've ever seen, was in 97, 98. We dropped back down for a while. And then we had another strong one in 2015, 2016. So going back all the way back to the early 1950s, we've really seen 3 what we call Super El Ninos, the really strong ones in those years. So knowing that, then the question is what kind of weather could we have based on those 3 years, those 3 times when we had the Super El Nino? So let's start with 82, 83. And by the way, the temperature around here for a winter is about 32 degrees, and snowfall average is about 14.5 inches. So just to give you an idea, the temperature was really warm. 36.2 for the winter. Precip was pretty hefty. Snowfall, though, was below normal, 7.9. Look at the Christmas temperature, 65 degrees. That was a record until recently. It was 65 degrees on Christmas Day. And it's also interesting in these Super El Ninos that we had snow in 82, 83, both in November to start winter and in March as we came out of winter. So remember that. That's 82, 83. Here's 97, 98, which again is the strongest El Nino. Again, 36.6. I mean, that's way above normal in the temperature. Precip was a little below, and snowfall, again, below, very close to what the other Super Nino was at 7.5. The Christmas temperature was cooler, but still fairly mild, above normal at 42. And again, we had snow in November and in March as we started and came out of the winter of 97, 98. 2015, 2016, I mean, look how consistent this is. The temperature, 36.6 degrees. Again, way above normal. Precip, near normal, but a little bit below. Snowfall, very much like the other two, a little over 7 inches. Christmas temperature, again above normal by a fair amount, 51 degrees. And by the way, the temperature in December of that year was the warmest December we've ever had. So you get the idea. When you take these Super El Ninos, they tend to bring warm weather for the winter. So now what I've done is I've taken 82, 83, 97, 98, and 2015, 2016, and I've done an average for you. So here you go. When you take the Super El Ninos, and if that's where we're headed with a Super El Nino, the temperature way above normal, 36.2 degrees on average. Precip was above normal, and snowfall was well below normal, average of about 8 inches. And the average temperature Christmas, again, it tends to peak around that time, was 53 degrees. So as a general rule, we've had warm Christmas days, we've had very mild winters, and we haven't had a whole lot of snow, although we did get some snow early in November and coming out of it in March in 2 of the 3. The bottom line is this. It does look like we're headed into an El Nino, potentially one of the strongest El Ninos we've seen. If that happens and it becomes a Super El Nino, more than likely, almost a guarantee, we're going to be looking at another mild winter here, but also a winter with below normal snowfall and probably a fairly mild Christmas as well. So anyway, just wanted to show you that's where we could be headed if we see a Super El Nino about what our winter could be looking like.